I'm gonna hit record so I forget sometimes what I'm to repeat myself, but go ahead, write it down.
Okay, no, then keep telling your story and
No, I know the story that I'm gonna go into, but if you ask me to repeat everything that I just said, I won't do it the same way. So,
mhm.
yeah. So write down whatever you need to. Absolutely.
Okay, I just have a
Okay, no worries.
empty one.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do that sometimes. I gave probably was me. I gave you a mind block, but okay. So listen,
Oh
everything
no,
you gotta. Sorry,
keep going.
did I give you a
I
mind
have
block?
to. I don't know where it came from. It
It
can happen.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that happens because you were in a train of thought and I was sending a signal to you that I don't want to repeat it. So you forgot about what you had to write. I know. And don't worry, I apologize that I did that to you.
No, it's
Okay,
okay.
so um, I'll repeat it, okay? Usually I don't like to do this, but I'll do it again, okay? It's recording, so don't worry. Don't
Ah,
focus on writing things down because that is really distracting you, as you can see.
yeah.
Yeah, you're very focused on everything linear. Everything needs to be recorded. Everything has to be figured out, which is okay. Nothing's wrong, but you need to absorb it first consciously. And once you absorb things consciously, you you can what like what you just did. You could say, okay, hold on, just pause 1 sec, and then you could jot it all down. And I'll allow you to do that again. Just tell me pause. Just be like pause 1 sec. So
Okay.
everything can be a block or everything could be abundance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you if you bless the mistakes and the failures and what you've lost and look at it as a blessing and you thank universal God, you thank source, more abundance will come as you're giving grace and thanks because things need to unfold for things to manifest. So when you are you know paying for anything or when you're losing out on corona and you stop working because you got to pay for bills and stuff, you don't see that as a block. You see that as an opportunity. You always see things as growth and potential. It's just a mindset shift. It's basically nothing you have to write down. All you got to do is shift your mindset, your brain chemistry to, okay, so the first thing you thought was things got hard. I had to use a lot of chunk of my change towards bills during COVID hit, and that's very stressful. So what you got to look at is things had to happen like that. Okay. And you know what, God, I'm very grateful. I let go of that. I let that go. I released uh that sting that I'm harboring inside. Have I ever read this to you? I forgive myself for harboring negative and destructive thoughts, and I release former employers and associates to God completely, wishing for them all the blessings of life. Whether I think of any one of them, I will immediately affirm I have released you. God be with you. I know as I continue to do this that I will meet them in my mind and that there is no longer will be any sting present. I claim promotion now, success now, harmony now, divine law and order is mine now. God's wealth flows to me in the avalanches of abundance. Life is growth and expansion. And I am an open channel for God's riches, which are ever active, ever present, unchanging, and eternal. I give thanks now for the riches within and without, and what I am now decree shall come to pass, and the light of God shall shine on me.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you must release. Okay, now let me get to the story, and if you have questions of how and details again, then that thought will come back to me. for things to clarify better for you, but let me share a story. So I used to be in debt over my head. I used to be, uh, flooded with stress and emotions and bills and debt and doubt and scarcity. And it was one thing overlapping because things are tests from God. And if you take it with emotion, like a strain, or you take it like, oh my God, it's happening to me and not for me, then you are going to reap the results of the negativity that you put towards that energy, right? So what happened was I got bills in the mail, right? And I would look at it like, oh shit, right away. I'd be like, oh, another bill, another debt. Okay. And I would get letters from court saying, I owe the justice system thousands of dollars. My son might be taken away from me. I used to get letters from the child welfare saying, warning, that we're going to keep in touch with you. Or, I used to have police officers call me wanting to interview me, wanting to hunt me down, wanting to investigate me. I had a 7-year criminal record. I had my license taken away from me. I had to fight the court system for my son, for my license, for money, for everything. I had to fight for hospital expenses. I had to be on government assistance, and I had to go on welfare. I had to look. I was, like, you catch the drift here. I became homeless. My child was taken away from me. My stepdaughter was taken away from me. um when I thought rock bottom was like a pile of shit, like, oh my God, okay, $30,000 in debt, that people would be like, oh my gosh, that's my rock bottom. And then what happened was, okay, my son was taken away, and then court came after me. Then I'm like, oh shit, rock bottom wasn't rock bottom, this is rock bottom. And I'm like, okay. And then a few weeks go by, and then the police arrest me, and I go to jail for a couple days. And I'm like sitting inside a holding cell for 10 hours. And, I have to bend down in front of cops, and I have to cough and show them my a-hole. And I had to be around other men, and I had to shower, and they gave me a bar of soap and a toothbrush, and I'm showering naked in front of everybody. And I'm like, okay, so this is rock bottom. So all I was doing was thinking about what's next, what's going to happen to me next. And once you transform and once you shift that energy and that thought process to, thank you, God, I love you, I trust that I'm going to change this energy. These are tests, these are manifesting before my eyes. I can see it. And okay, I'm going to start to think of bliss and joy and love. And I'm going to start to think of change. I'm going to start to think of harmony and respect and inner peace and joy. And I'm going to reprogram my mind every fucking day. I'm going to make decisions into my own hands. I'm going to throw all these pharmaceuticals down the toilet. Once I started to do that, my life started to shift. I got out of jail, and I sent a signal to God that, I am thankful, I'm grateful, I love you, I surrender. I surrender my life, and I sacrifice my negative outcomes and all of the rock bottoms for completely change my life. And if I don't change my life, then I choose to die. And when I said that, I made a sacrifice. I made an oath to God that I'm going to continually be pursuing growth and changing my mind. And what that means, Salsila, is your mindset, your thought process, your thinking has to change. Your feelings have to change. Your emotions have to change. No matter what it is, it's all in you. It's nothing outside of yourself. You don't have to write anything down. It's not an affirmation. The affirmations that I give you, that I create for people, is not even a percentage of personal growth. That's what you have to do in your life. Affirmations is like 0.01% of my life. But it is an everyday thing. It doesn't mean it's insignificant. Without that percentage, it would not take effect. So I have to add that into my 100% of my life. So I got a letter saying you owe X amount of thousands of dollars of child support. And if you don't pay, you lose all your rights to your son. As a father, you don't have any rights, zero rights. And whatever she says uh, will happen. So if she says bend over, you bend over. If she says give me money, you give her money. If she says you can't travel, you can't travel. If she says she can travel and you can't, then that's what happens. If she says that you can't see your kid and you have to keep paying money, that's what's going to happen. And I said, really? They said yes. And I fought and fought and fought for 12 years, Celsilla, 12 years, every day of my life. You don't want that to happen to you, to keep fighting your entire life, right? So listen to me carefully. So what happened was, um, I look back at my life and I'm like, oh my God, what are the results? What has been happening in my life? 12 years, nothing is changing. It's like I'm fighting to a never ending fight. And once I stopped fighting, once I stopped chasing, once I stopped pursuing what the result was, and I let it go to God and I surrendered and I believed and I trusted, I got a letter in the mail a couple weeks later. When I accepted, I stopped saying what I wanted. So I stopped saying, "Oh, I just don't want to pay. I just want to keep, saving my money. I just want her to just fucking stop chasing me. I just want to have my money and I want to do things my way." Every time I talked that way, I got a letter in the mail hunting me down that I owe 5,000. And then another couple weeks, you owe 9,000. And I was like, oh my fucking God. So I just got in a car accident in 2010. I ended up off life support. I'm on pharmaceuticals. I'm on all of this shit. I'm on my deathbed and I have to pay all this money. And I am paid by insurance. My car insurance from my car accident under my dad has paid me money. And now all of my money that I have to survive on for 2 years of my life is going to her and going to child support and going to pharmaceuticals. See how you raised your eyebrows? It's not a big deal. You don't look at life like that. You look at life very simplistic. You have to look very straight and not get impacted by doubt and scarcity. So moving forward in your life, what I just noticed is, I know you did that for me, like, it's, oh my God, wow, like I would do that too. But these are things that even within you internally, don't express yourself like that was a big deal. Okay, do not express yourself. All your expressions are emotions and feelings that lead to actions and results. Okay, so let me go back. So, and then uh, basically, you understand the story is like, that's my story. And I had to get money from insurance that was just going towards food, bills, and problems and debt and school and the bus. I had to get bus tickets. And okay, so you catch the drift, right? Okay, so now I surrendered to God. Okay. So all I did was I surrendered. Okay. And I left it up to God and I put faith and trust. And as soon as I put faith and trust and let it go and knew that things are going to fall into place, law and order is going to take its place and the universe will manifest what's supposed to manifest for for your divineness, depending on how you feel about yourself. So when I let go all the doubts and I said, you know what, I'm worth everything. I'm divine, I'm spiritual, I'm connected. Everything happens for me, not to me. What happened was weeks went by. I sent out a new manifest. Instead of being scared of the mail, instead of being scared of what to expect, I started to change my expectations to money is coming in the mail. And I started to change my expectations to when bills were coming, I'm like, I'm getting checks and paid, and I'm going to open this up and it's going to be $10,000. And even if it was you owe 200, I'm like, oh my God, I just received 200. you know? So you got to get, so I put myself into a whole new alternate reality. In order to change my personality, I changed my personal reality. So when I changed my reality, then my personality literally started to change. So are you okay?
No, I liked it. I resonated with it.
You're breathing in. I thought you're getting something like you're doing. Are you meditating on this talk? That's awesome if you are. Are you
Uh,
taking it all in?
yeah, I was taking it all in.
Awesome. No, I was just concerned. I was just wondering, are you okay? Getting stressed?
No, no, I am okay. Just a situation popped in my mind that I had yesterday, and I was like, it reminded me that I could have looked at it as you said, and I looked at it negative, even though it should not be negative.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you're absorbing this so focused and attentive to what I'm saying and not just taking your focus attention away to writing down, because I'm going to penetrate your mind and you are going to learn everything by just paying attention. You don't need to write it down. You'll write it down later, even tonight, later, whenever, and you'll realize that everything is within you. All
Mhm.
knowledge, all superiority, all information, all wisdom is already inside of you. And once you take the information and wisdom and knowledge, you can reiterate it at any point in time. Now it's programmed in your consciousness. Okay. So that's how I look at life. Everything is downloads. Everything you're uploading from the ether, from the universe. So now when I started to do that, weeks went by and I got a mail and it was from the government of Canada. And I said, awesome. I wonder what this is. Instead of, oh shit, what do I expect? Oh, and instead of thinking, oh fuck, is this more debt? Is this more problems? Oh my God, what's the bad outcome? Because that's what I used to do. So whenever I put focus on the bad outcome, I would open it. It would be exactly what I manifested in that split second. So when I got the mail weeks and weeks later, in that split second, in my thought process, I sent a signal into the mail before I opened it. I'm like, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. I love you. This is money. This is success. This is amazing. And I opened it up, and you know what I saw? The first thing, I scanned my eyes through it because I don't want to read it first. I scanned and I saw the number dollar sign and zero. And I turned that into happiness instead of thinking this was money. Like, you got to catch yourself in your manifest. So if you're trying to manifest money and you're like, this is $200, and you open it and you see zero, instead of saying, oh shit, look, at money can come in forms of so many ways. Okay, energy comes in the form of many things. Money is just energy. If I didn't have to pay for that, and if it's zero, that's money. That's like the universe's way of
Yeah.
crossing out all the debt, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at that. I said, zero, what does that mean? And I started reading it. Malcolm, you owe in the amount of zero arrears, you are clear of your debt. And I was like, lala. I was like, OMG, right? And I was so excited. And I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I believe you. I knew it. I already believed in it. And you just have to use your infinite energy in a way that you are God, you are power, you are a creator. And once you do that, then you will be able to form your reality much better.
Hmm.
End of my story. So that's basically how, I hope I answered and it gave you clarity to what you're doing different in your life.
Mhm. I don't even remember the question, but I love the story. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And it resonated with me with a couple of things I've done lately. Um, and it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's all you got to do when you ask how, what, where, when, why, and all that, those questions that you ever have, it's all in your head. it's all the information knowledge that you have not been using. So instead of using what you've been using, you snap yourself out of it and use a different power, come from a different source energy, come
Can
from
you
an
explain that further? I didn't.
so you basically come from a different perspective, a different point of view. You're
Mhm.
sabotaging your life. And when you look at it as face value and say, okay, what am I about to think and feel right now? Change that to bliss, joy, happiness, and positivity right away.
Mhm.
That's all you're doing wrong. All you're doing wrong is from sabotage, go to bliss, joy, happiness, and love.
Mhm.
Yeah. So instead of, yeah, I don't want to keep saying it because I don't want you to get upset, but all we do is we self-sabotage. We
Yeah.
self-sabotage. And we got to learn how to look at ourselves like gods.
Yeah.
And it's so against what has been programmed into our minds. I sent you a podcast, I think one episode, and then you can ask me if you are interested, if you want more information. uh, I can give you more information about that, but you have to realize that you have to come into your power. You have to come into your power and stop letting your power go outside of yourself and putting it towards your energy towards, like, oh, I'm upset at this, so this shouldn't have happened this way, this shouldn't have happened that way. You are looking at life like everything is happening to you, and as a result, you're getting affected by it. Instead
Mhm.
of getting affected by it, you look at things that it's happening for you. This is all for your personal growth and development. Now, if you look back at every situation and you send it love, and you say, thank you, God, for this situation that just happened before that I'm talking about to Malcolm. Thank you that it made me realize now that I'm learning that what I should have done and I could have done for me and you. God,
Mhm.
I apologize. And listen to your source energy, your spirit, and listen for that love inside. Listen for that I appreciate. Listen to that respect and that divinity that you have inside. And once you connect to your inner divineness, you will be able to heal yourself better. Look, I am blessed that I was in a car accident and I died because it put me closer to God. And I was able to understand and connect to what source is and what this divinity is. But you and everybody has the same power. And although there are people that I teach that have not gone through the turmoil and that car accident or a near death experience, they understand it now that they are power, they are source energy, they are connected to God, and they are able to tap into their spirits much better through talking to me and stuff like that. So you have it inside of you. You just have to snap yourself out of it and come to a realization, make a decision, make a choice, look at yourself in the mirror, self-reflect, and connect and be like, look at the fraudulence, look at your face and be like, what am I doing? Why did I do that? Like, fuck. And then say, okay, I'm going to change this. I realize now what I'm doing, and make an ultimate decision and sacrifice your life. Sacrifice failure, Celsius. Sacrifice. Be like, if I don't change, if I don't keep doing this, I sacrifice my acting career. You got to get over your scarcity and be so powerful that you say, if I don't change, I'm going to lose out on my acting career and I'm not going to be successful. You got to say that in order for me to be successful and get a acting career and be successful in everything that I want in my affirmations, I sacrifice my self-sabotage. I sacrifice my doubts and my scarcity mindset. I sacrifice the way I look at things. And you got to put yourself to the test every day. And if a mistake happens, you correct it right away and don't look at it like it was a mistake. Look at it as a lesson. As long as you're always correcting yourself, you'll be fine.
Mhm. That makes sense. Hello?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just waiting for you. Yeah.
I thought I cut you off. That
No.
makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good. Are you still wondering in your mind, like how, what, where, when, why? Like, how do I do this? What am I doing wrong? Because if you do want to go back to the question of
Mhm.
what Naz was explaining to you, and you want to know how it's a scarcity and what I'm doing wrong, ask me again and I can clear it up. But if you know, then that's
Mhm.
fine. Don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Just because I talk to you, like, and I'm giving you information, don't feel for 1 second that if you have to ask me again and learn again, that it's a thing in you, a bad thing in you. No, you got to overcome that
Mhm.
power, and you got to be able to look at yourself and be like, no, I'm going to stop feeling that way. That's another scarcity mindset.
Huh.
Did I give you a good example? So that's another scarcity mindset. When you start to think too much inside yourself, like, oh shit, if I ask him, like, he just told me so much now, if I ask him again, I'm gonna feel like this. Do I look like I know it all? Should I act like I know, or should I ask again for more information? Like, when you start thinking like that, that's a scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
So you have to tap into your power and ask me again. Be like, no, actually, I need to know. I want to know more. Give me more information. I'm not going to look at you like you're dumb, and nobody's going to look at you like you're dumb unless you have already felt it and thought about it yourself. So if
Mhm.
you start coming from a place of that lack, then obviously the universe is manifesting exactly what you think about.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so start connecting to universe in a better way, because what you're doing is you're connecting with all this doubt, all this thought process going on in your head. And that's your connection to source. That's
Yeah.
your connection to source. So change the connection to source.
Yeah. I didn't realize it, but I do feel like if I don't write it down, I'll forget it.
Yeah, but even if you write it down, it's still going to take you years to learn, because
Yeah.
you're learning from a different realm. Like, it writing down works well for your goals and affirmations and specific money manifestations and stuff. But when you're observing and learning and growing, not once in my life have I ever had to take down notes in a seminar, in a business meeting, in a training course, in a training class of 50 people. I would be the only person without a pen and a paper or a notebook and a journal. And the CEO or the regional manager or the owner of the company would be looking around the room. Everybody is taking notes, being that mindset of, that this is how things are supposed to be done. And every time, even in school, growing up, even in every situation in my life, at work, conventions, like I mentioned, doctor offices, wherever it is, lawyer offices, in front of a court system, in front of a judge. So the person would be looking around the room, and everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, because that's what people think that is supposed to be done. And I would get questioned, why aren't you writing? Go get a pen, go get a book. And I'd say, I don't learn that way. It's not going to work for me. And they said, oh, your results will show. Your results will show. Couple days later, maybe 20 people quit and another 20 people failed. And you know who became number one in all those companies?
You?
Yes. So change the paradigm. It's a paradigm. Everything is a paradigm. If you think you can or you think you can, either way, you're right. If you think you need notes to remember, you're right. and it's not working for you, right? But if you change the paradigm and you say, look, I'm gonna send another signal out to the universe that I am absorbing all of this. I am infinite information. I am wise. I am intelligent. That's the new signal.
Okay, I want to write this one down. I'm absorbing anything.
No, you got to think it already in your mind, absorb it in your head, repeat it. Yeah. Just keep, yeah, write it down and keep repeating that in your head and then write it down. Yeah. But I want you to not take what I say and write it down right away. What I want you to do is take what I say and affirm it out loud and say it, resonate with it, and then write it down. I think I would, and you would appreciate that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm absorbing anything
And
and
everything, an infinite divine source. You are sending a new signal out to source. So you're resonating. You can change it however you want. There's not one way to say it. Celsila. I was gonna call you my stepdaughter's name. Yeah, there's not one way to resonate with anything. Look, as long as you're looking at the universe as if it is a divinity, a divine power, and you are connected to that source, and you know that everything that is in your power, you are able to create. Just say it any way you want. If you have to come up with your own words of wisdom, when you keep taking words of wisdom from everything outside of yourself, you're telling the universe you have no wisdom within you. Because whenever I have learned anything from any guru, shaman, coach, mental health, doctor, spirituality, I've never taken notes. All of this is within me. And I just take, I learn, and I expand upon it, and I teach it in my own way. So learn to do the same thing. Don't be an identical copycat, be a copy and create something new out of it. Reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the wheel. Change what's already been done and create something divine out of it through your supernatural powers. Come into your powers. Realize that you are strength and strong. You can create new knowledge and wisdom out of what I'm teaching you.
mm-hmm.
You know, I was meditating and listening to a podcast before talking, and I was just sending out vibes to your universal realm that you are gonna come into your superpower. You're gonna come into your power. You are
You know,
gonna realize that you are divine, that you are strong.
did you do that this
Uh,
like yesterday?
Too few minutes, yeah. Like I've been sending that since yesterday till today, all the way. Yeah, while I was sleeping.
You know what I listen, what kind of subliminal I listen to?
What?
I'm supernatural.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want you to understand, that you are supernatural. You're a superpower. That's exactly what you need to come to realize, that you are not doing for yourself because you are always stuck in your body. You got to come out of your body. Start listening to outer body experience meditations. Write that
Not
down. Yeah, you can. Because you might forget the terminology, right? Like
yes.
for this, you can write it down because it's something you have to go and search.
Yeah. So
Other
outer body?
anything to do with like outer body experience, supernatural, like out like what do you call it? REM sleeping, lucid dreaming, outer body experience, meeting your spirit guides, you know, meeting your spirit guides. All of what I just said are things that you need to learn because you need to experience it. Because without experience, without, you know, I listened to this podcast. We're all living life, and once we're under pressure so much, we finally resist from that pressure and turn ourselves into a diamond. and we want to express ourselves. Don't want to be trapped anymore. And you are coming out of this trappedness, out of this charcoal, out of this coal, and you want to become that diamond that you are. And you have to realize you are, and you haven't had an experience where your spirit left your body and you connected to source energy. I have. I have met source energy. I have met my angels. I have seen all the angels. I have done that. I've been there, done that. And I knew it before, but when it happened, I was like, it was affirmed. When I was younger, before my car accident, I was always connected to source. I always believed that I had angels upon me. I always looked up into my crown chakra, above my eyebrows, into my head, out into the sky, into God. And I always used to believe in a divine power. And I knew that that wasn't the Hindu pujas that my dad went to. I knew that that wasn't the church that my mom went to, Jehovah Witness. I knew that that wasn't the temples of the Islam, Muslim places my mom used to take me to. I knew that that wasn't Roman Catholic church that my stepmom took me to. I knew that that wasn't Buddhism or Chinese ancient that I used to learn when I went to celebrate the Chinese holidays when I grew up in British Columbia. I knew it all had to do with one equality, divine spiritual being. And I knew it wasn't confined to a religious notion. Um, so I never resonated with one person or one religion or one confinement or one mindset or one personality or one. I always knew that I was capable of connecting the dots. So now looking backwards, I was able to. And then when my car accident happened, it just set it into stone. So I'm telling you right now, you don't need affirmation. You don't need, okay, I'm telling you right now that you are infinite spiritual being. You are not confined to this body and emotion. You got to learn how to regulate your emotions and go into your divine spiritual being so you can create alternate realities outside of yourself. And once you do that, then you can tap into those realities in the here and now. See, sometimes when I speak directly from source. That's why it's hard for me to repeat myself, because my human body, my human mind has to remember what I just said. But usually what I just said came from God. That's why it's hard for me to repeat it, because Naz always asks me, she's like, can you repeat what you just said? I need to write that down. Or what did you just say? Or even Arnold, like, Dad, can you say that again? And I don't remember. And they're like, how can you not remember? Aren't you talking? And I say, no, I don't know. It's just coming to me. And now they understand me. So now they go silent. No one disrespects me. Nobody talks over me, and nobody messes around, because when I speak, they listen. And I'm not saying that to be boastful or pride or egotistic or negative. It's just that I am going to affirm that when I get these messages, that I'm going to learn to repeat it word for word or even better. And I'm not saying that I'm unable to. I'm saying I will, but I just want you to know that when I speak, it's coming directly. So that's when the power is there. So pay attention. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, like details, specific, like how, what, why, where, when. And I had this feeling and I didn't know about this. And keep doing. Listen, you have to be a student of life. I am a student of life. Why do you think I wake up every day and I'm a student of life every day? I don't waste my life. And when I do waste my life, That's the times that I'm miserable, when I'm just watching TV and just doing nothing with my life and hanging out and thinking, oh, what are we going to eat? And that's the lowest consciousness for me. I have to learn to enjoy my bodily being. Like, I have to learn how to sit in that with peace and contentment and enjoy. And that's why I'm able to live in this life, because I have to live in this life with contentment and joy and peace and harmony. And that is a struggle for everybody, and including me. We all have to understand that we're in this physical realm, in this physical body. We're experiencing this world in this body. So we are living in this place where we're connected to our physical being, and we're attaching ourselves to all the emotions and the programs around us. Like, for example, doctors, what they've said, social services, what they've said, social justice and social activists and court systems, and the different, federal and provincial, and the society and the mindsets and the drugs and the this and the Hollywood and the actors and the commercials and the system and the programs and the everything. And then we have to contemplate that, and we realize, like, fuck, oh my God, you know what? Get out of that shit out of your head, because those are programs. Those are the way the reptilian spider webs and the elite beings that are controlling the elites behind Hollywood and behind the conspiracies and behind the laws and behind the governments. They want to control you through all of this social media and through all the politics, through all the war, through all the negativity, the coronavirus. You got to get out of that and realize that that is not you. You are focusing on something else. And once you take your focus away from that, that's what you need to do. They want control by taking your focus away from your divine spiritual being, your supernaturalness. See, I never talked to you like this before because I didn't think you were ready. And I just want to let you know that you are ready. Even if you don't feel ready, I don't care if I scare people away anymore. I don't care if I talk like this and they don't want to get coached by me and they think I'm a weirdo, then I'm done with them. I don't even want their money.
I thought this was the most beautiful talk that we had. This is my favorite talk since we've talked.
Awesome. See, I was holding it in because I wasn't sure that you're ready, but this is how I talk at home, Celsila. This is how I speak every day. This is my real voice. This is what I talk about when I live my life. And I tone it down when I do coaching.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Well, I'm so glad and blessed that it's being recorded.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I heard a quote from Lisa Nichols. If the light that you give is too bright for them, don't dim your light.
Yeah. And I want to ask your permission now. Can I share this to the world on my YouTube channel?
Oh, my room is so messy.
No, listen, first of all, I want to say you're beautiful. The world will think how beautiful you are and know it. And your room is beautiful. I mean, it's just a section of your home. It's not a reflection of who you are. But
No.
yeah, so yeah, because I think the world needs to hear it. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should share it.
Yeah, you are coming into your supernatural power. You are successful no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
to.
that was a beautiful talk, honestly.
Thank you. Um, yeah, usually when I talk, it's hard. I don't think about what I have to say. It just comes out naturally, especially when I put my children to sleep. I touch both of their heads and I hold it and I speak affirmations out into the universe. And I speak in sentences. I talk like motivational. I talk spiritual. I talk inspiring, And then after like 10 minutes, they're snoring, they're snoozing away. Yeah. But when you don't speak intelligence to spiritual beings, that's why they have ADHD. That's why they're wild and crazy. When you diagnose them with pharmaceuticals and ADHD pills and you tell them what they are and what they're not, then they are just troubled. They grew up so fucking troubled in this world. But when you start to speak divinity into the universal flow of energy into them, they are connected to source and they are paying attention. Whenever I speak like this, everyone pays attention. When I speak nonsense, baloney, or we watch movies or we watch Netflix and we talk about a movie, everyone wants to distract and talk over one another or give their opinion. But when I speak about the law and order and law of attraction and spirituality and talk directly from source, nobody has rebuttals. They go quiet and they're absorbing, they're listening. So,
Yeah.
and if you put that into perspective, that like think of the reality of that. Like every time our mind wants to talk over something, it's when it thinks it knows everything.
Yeah. Yes.
It's when it thinks it knows, something or yeah. So always be a beginner, always be expanding your consciousness, and be a good listener, be a good student of life. And it was hard for me, even till now, just to listen, even to things that to me in my mind. Remember, I said mind, okay? I said mind is petty. I think it's petty sometimes, but I got to respect people's self-love, people's opinion and their mindset, because when I do, then I start to understand and grow a lot more. Like for example, I cut off my kids, I cut off my wife, and when I catch myself and I start to listen, I realize the potential of growth, because they all are spiritual beings that have opinions and they all have their minds and spirits of their own. We're all connected to source. We're one unified uh, being, but at the same time, we are all infinite spiritual beings that are separate from one another. We all go back to source, but we are infinite. Remember, you are infinite. Your soul never dies. You can taint it being in this body, but you have to make it alive in this body. So start to focus on different things every day, like experiencing more outer body experience connected to source, having dreams, lucid dreams. Um, Start dreaming of your dream that you're dreaming that you're not dreaming. Like there's this one podcast, yeah, it's pretty trippy. So start to dream of your dreams, and you're in your dream realizing it is not a dream and that you are creating your reality. So use your dreams as a catalyst to come to terms of realization
Yes.
and imagination and creation. You know, your dreams are no different than reality. If we go into a lucid dream and we can walk, talk, we can look around at the birds, we can touch and feel, and we're fluffing our pillows in our dreams, and we can cry in our dreams, we can touch solid material in our dreams, we can bang a table in our dreams and know that it's so freaking real. It's no different than reality until we realize how real we are. We can say pause. And when we say pause, everything becomes still. Everything pauses. When you walk up to someone and say, I'm dreaming, stop, they won't keep moving. You are a creator. You created that. So you're creating your reality outside of your dream as well. When you wake up, you're creating your reality. If nothing is different than your dream, and you realize that you are dreaming in reality, start to create your reality dream. Ask me questions.
I don't have any. I like it.
Okay, good. I'm glad that made sense, because sometimes it goes over someone's head and they think they're so knowledgeable, educated, that they have something to say against that. And it's like, don't use your intellect to get you in the way of your true education. Have you ever heard the quote, don't let school get in the way of your education?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's the
like.
same thing. People try to use their school mindset, their schooling, to determine reality, and it is what it is. Everybody is unfolding. Everybody is knowledgeable in their own right. Their birthright is their birthright, right? So I have no bias against, there's so many intellects, but there's those intellects that are narcissistic. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like. I like it because um it resonated with me because you can use your dreams. And then I saw it as like a trial period to like you can practice in your dreams, getting more
That's
confident,
exactly what it is.
to
Start
get more confident in the real life.
Yes, use your dreams. So when I say direct your mind, when I coach and I say direct your mind before bed, now use this tool to direct your mind. Always direct and set an intention so your dreams can manifest for you. And then when you wake up, you set an intention from the waking hours and you thank source no matter what. And you be blessed and grateful and get out of thinking about the physical body, the mind, and the restraints in life and stress. Get out of that.
Yes, I want that.
Okay, what else is on the agenda today?
I wanted to ask about, you said before about being emotionless when people tell you stuff, which makes sense to not get affected by people's stories. Um, to see if we see it with a different mindset, it's we also can, if somebody tells their tragic story, we can see it as like they had to experience that to learn from it. It was a learning experience also from that for them. So I get the emotionless. For me, as wanting, as a person wanting to experience different emotions, um do I have to force myself to not feel emotions in that moment?
I know what you're getting at. You
um
go ahead. Sorry, finish, but I know exactly what you're getting at. Go ahead.
so I was wondering, do I have to become emotionless, or did you mean I have to, if I change my mindset, I don't get triggered by those stories and I will have different emotions in the sense of positive emotions,
Okay.
more serving emotions?
Okay. I can answer that. So in reality, right, you
Mm-hmm.
have experienced your past emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You already know what that experience is like. Okay, so based on the experiences you had, you know how to express yourself already. You
Mm-hmm.
do not have to express yourself, however, if you are getting an emotional trigger, you don't need to experience that emotion during an emotional trigger. But when you translate that now into acting and your career, then what you can do is you know how to trigger those emotions. Then you use it to leverage it as a tool. You already have that power within. So what I'm saying is in your day-to-day life, regulate your emotions and eliminate those emotions because you don't need it to interact with your life.
Okay. I think I got it.
So you don't need to resonate with your emotions to getting mail or writing emails to people and stuff like that, because those are emotions that are affecting you right now. But when you're using it in the acting world, then you know how to tap into those emotions. Use it as your superpower.
Yeah.
Use your past experiences, your life experiences as your superpower. Don't use it to fucking affect you as your kryptonite.
Was this a kryptonite?
You know, Superman? Have you watched Superman?
Bits and pieces.
Yeah, Superman was from a planet, and you know, what affects him basically. I need to watch the original again. Is kryptonite. Kryptonite affects him on Earth because it goes against his powers. You know, it affects him. It basically weakens him. So
So I don't have to weaken myself.
you don't have to weaken yourself in your day-to-day life with
Yeah.
that kryptonite. You can use your past experiences in acting as a superpower, as a leverage to go into those scenes, into those emotions. But you got to get so good at activating it and deactivating it.
Yes. Yes. I want to master that.
You already have mastered it
Yes.
because you're allowing it to affect your daily life. So once you realize that you can put a stop to it now and only use it during acting, that's your superpower. Yeah. So you understand what you're doing to yourself? You're using it in the wrong ways. Start using it in the right ways in your active daily life to manifest and to empower yourself to achieve goals and your success. But you know, I told this one client, I have a client, you know, beautiful client, and he would yawn, but he says, I never yawn like this. And what I told him, I shared a story. I said, remember when we were in school? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. And when we're in school, when we're learning new information that expands our mind, we would yawn. We would be like yawning, but we're really not tired. What that is our brain exhausting. But when you change that information that's going into your brain and say, my mind is expanding, I'm gaining more insights and information right now, I'm learning. And he now every day, whenever he yawns, whenever I coached him, whenever I'm coaching him and I say things and he starts yawning and it blows his mind, it's new information, he's like super learning, he will, instead of saying I'm tired, he's like, my mind is expanding and I'm learning new information.
Thank you for saying that, because I was like, when I yawned, I was like, why am I tired?
Yeah, no.
And then you get tired because you tell yourself you are, because
Yes.
that's the only connection you have.
Exactly. Change the connection that you're wiring and firing signals to your brain. The neurons in your brain can get reprogrammed. So what I do is when I started yawning, so in school, listen, I'll tell you another story. When I
Okay.
was growing up in school, I have like a grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 education level.
Is that good? What is that? Because I
So
don't know.
you,
Was
so grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. Do you know those grades?
the when they grade a test?
No, in school, like your grade, like how old, like grade, like 6 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Okay.
Do you know what that is? Like when you're 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years
So the
old.
classes that you are with.
No, you as a person, when you are 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Okay.
Okay. In those years, when I was in school, in those years, I know the way in Switzerland is it's different, and I know in India and Fiji and a lot of people around the world, they they go by a different grade. They don't call it grade, they call it something else. Like, um, I know in some parts of the world they even call it something else. They call it I forgot, but it's so different. They don't even call it year or grade. So I totally understand. So you're smart. Don't
Oh,
Yeah, don't worry. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. So don't ever take your English or your comprehension level and sabotage it ever.
yeah.
Okay. So basically, in those age groups, that is my highest form of academic schooling education.
Okay.
Okay. Now, based on that, now that you understand that, I was a failure growing up, like F's, D's, and C's. Okay. Now, the way people look at people in life, some people today,
Yes.
in the personal growth world, they look at that as not like that, whatever, that's not a big deal, that you don't need
Mhm.
that to be great in life. And some people look at that like
The only thing.
the only thing, right? Exactly.
Mhm.
So
They measure you by that.
yeah, but the story that I'm going to share is a little bit different. It has to do with how I expanded on my education. So in my younger years, I couldn't pay attention. People called me, ADHD. They put me in special needs. So I was in special needs classes because I was labeled, right, as deficient. I was labeled as I couldn't read, I couldn't interact. I was all this, I was that, I didn't pay attention. So they put me in ESL, which is something where I was in class with people with broken English or people who didn't speak English, people from China, India, Africa, all places around the world. And I was me, I was who I am. So if you can imagine me being in a classroom and you're like, why? Like, you speak English. It's
Mhm.
because I was categorized and labeled by my parents. My parents at the time, they enforced it. They said he can't read, he's illiterate, he's dumb. His mom treated him like shit. So he doesn't know what it's like to live in life. He doesn't know how to be social. He's stupid and this. So they programmed the principals and the teachers to believe in me in that way. And the system believed it. And they put me into programs. Okay, long story short, now I'm in college and I am 23 years old. After being diagnosed with brain damage and short term memory loss. So, on top of my years of life and going through everything that I've gone through, I know you know some of my personal life journey. So going through all that now, after my car accident, being diagnosed, okay, brain damage. I was on life support. I hit head first. I went through my windshield. I hit a house going 100 kilometers an hour. Um, I go to college. It's like 6 months later. Okay, I
Mhm.
go to college because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was done, and I had this awakening, but I was in this realm of in this body in this earth, like what you can do, should do, what you can't do, in this reptilian brain holding us back. And I was fighting through that, being in
Okay.
being
Hello?
incapacitated, like people say you're incapacitated by life.
Okay.
Okay, so now I go to college and I say to my mind, this is easy, this is not hard, I got this, I'm an A plus student, I'm an A plus student. I am reprogramming my mind. So I'm doing all these exercises and this work in my mind while I'm in school. And instead of telling myself I can't do this and looking at my life as, well, if I never finish school, how can I finish college? And you know what? I'm 23 years old. And so, Scylla, college, what they did to me when I did my assessment,
Hmm.
I didn't do good on my assessment. They put me back to grade 6 in college.
Okay.
So all of my education that I had to redo all over again, English, history, language arts, math. I had to learn poetry again. I had to learn writing again. I had to learn how to write English, everything again, because that was my education level. Guess what? I blew through everything, and I was the number one student amongst the number one students, the top three or the top percent, 96 to 100% student all the way. And I finished until grade 10 because in life, I was living with my step parent mom, and she kicked me out. So I was going to college living with her, and there was some problems that happened, and she kicked me out of the house, and police came and they took me and they dropped me off to a homeless shelter, and I had to leave school and I had to focus on what I'm going to do in life again. So I couldn't finish. But if I finished, I would have been a 100% student and I would have finished my GED till grade 12. But it didn't happen. So that's all good. But what I'm trying to say is we're limiting our beliefs. And through the power of intention and through your superpower, you can create a new reality. You can actually alter what's possible. And it was not from studying. I did not study. I did not write anything down. My teachers always said, Malcolm, stop talking. In college, I was like, I was that same kid, growing up in school that was like, making friends, becoming so popular. Everybody loved me. All the girls wanted to hang out with me. They wanted to be like my best friends. Yeah. And they were beautiful, like girls that were from their 20s to their 30s and 40s. They wanted to hang out with me and just engage with me. And guys too, like just everyone liked me. And that's how I was in school and growing up as well. And I still did really well. So there's nothing that's not possible. Everything is possible, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is possible. Whatever the main point was when I answered your question, I hope I didn't get off the topic, but I was basically
It was all interesting. So
I was talking about reprogramming your mind and the way you can go to sleep and set that intention. Everything
oh
can be
yes.
done. Setting that intention, is all that needs to be done. If I can do it, Celsila, going through what I've gone through, can you look at yourself in a much better position than I ever was? Yes, of course.
Yes.
You are in a much better position than I ever was. And it doesn't matter what position we're in, is the reality. No matter the position I was in, I was able to alter my reality. How, it's just remarkable the power that we have. And we don't have to use any negativity against ourselves. Use it to empower you, to enforce yourself, to love yourself, to be in peace with yourself, to encourage yourself, to discipline yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next? Last we talked about your visualization, meditations. We were talking about all of those things, which I created two things for you. I want to create one with the audio where I'm speaking the affirmations so I can go. The reason why it takes long for me to create these is because I edit.
Long, you were so fast.
Okay,
Like
well, I put a lot of energy into it and
I could
spirituality
tell.
into it. So it's not like I jump on there, I hit play and I record and it's done and made perfect the same time. I go back and I check for errors. And then I also,
Mhm.
I pray and I meditate and I make sure that I'm in a spiritual state of mind and I'm connected to you. And all my intentions and desires are for your superpower. So I put all of my energy for your growth and your energy. So that guided meditation visualization that I created for you has
Mhm.
energy in it that is so embedded into your dream state that I dreamed it while I was visualizing it and speaking it. I dreamed it into existence for you. Like I visualized you on the aisle seat and you walking up, and everything is a vision. So when I speak these visuals and create these meditations for people, they're not just spoken word. They're actual your visions. They're your visions that you told me you wanted.
Yes,
Yeah. Do you
it
like
was.
it?
Yes, I like it. I've done it twice. The aisle seat visualization. I've done it twice. Um, I started the recording that you sent me yesterday. I started it and fell asleep to it.
Yeah.
So and then I woke up in the middle of the night and played the Supernatural.
Nice.
And then I sent you a picture of the Excel thing you did.
Yep. Yes.
Um, I thought I did very little yesterday, but when I filled it out, I was like, okay, I did more than I thought. So I was proud.
Yeah. You're doing, always be proud no matter what. Even for the little,
Yeah.
don't look at it as a bad thing. If anything, look at it to propel yourself to feel better and do better.
I was, I wanted to tell you a win I did yesterday. I've done a couple of things for my visa and other stuff that usually give me anxiety, and I didn't have any anxiety yesterday doing them.
Amazing. Yeah,
So
I'm
that,
super proud of you.
yeah, so I just kept going. So I worked until like 4 a.m. tonight,
Yeah.
but I was like, I wanted to like sit in that longer
Yeah.
and just like make it a habit. And if once I experience it without anxiety, I have to, yeah, sit in it and like let it become a habit.
Awesome.
That's what I thought.
You did great. That's
Thanks.
amazing. Is there more stuff that you want to ask me or anything else you want to target and focus on or learn about?
Um, with this conversation that we had right now, I mentioned that I sometimes don't recognize triggers. I want to get better at it.
Yes.
I already feel I've made some improvement.
Yes.
Um, can we do that together sometimes? That I tell you stories that I feel could have a trigger, um,
Yes.
and then if you could help me to look at it with a different mindset.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Can you talk about one thing or two things or multiple?
Well, I think I have a lot of triggers and blocks with my visa because I saw other people getting because they're applying for the O1 visa and I'm applying for the green card, which is just more stuff, but it gives me more in return. But I'm on it since 2 years and I don't think that it should take that long. So I feel like I'm standing my own way.
Okay. Now let's address that. Do you have another point or are you on the same point?
It's the same point,
Okay.
but since I have to do different things for the visa,
Mm-hmm.
I have like a list of 12 things.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I have blocks in like every of those points.
Okay. What are the points? What are the 12 or different points you have?
Do you want me to list all the 12?
Yes.
Wait, okay, then I have to get my list. Okay. Do you want me to send you also a PDF?
Sure, if you want to, but just express it to me right now and let's address them.
Okay. So first point is detailed resume showing. Uh, I already sent that, so that's good.
Okay.
The second one is evidence of intention to continue working in your field. That comes in the form of employment offers, letter of intents, a declaration. I don't know exactly what declaration means.
Okay.
Um, but I had 12 people giving me an okay to write me a letter of intent, write me a deal memo, and it's been 3 months that I'm hunting them down, and they say they have it, they'll send it to me later, and then they say I'll send it to you today, and then they say I send it to you today, and I'm
What do your
always
emails look like? Can you open up one email and read it to me?
yes.
Your approach.
Mhm. Um, I sent two yesterday. I said, oh, I said, um, I'm not gonna name names because you're recording and putting
Yes.
it online.
Yes.
Um, I wanted to say, I wanted to reach out to you and ask if you had the chance to look at the letter of intent for me. A friendly reminder. I hope you are getting well and stay safe. No, I hope you're doing well and stay safe. I wanted to tell you that I love your Facebook posts. You can write really, really well.
Okay.
She does.
Hold on one sec. Now back up, read it again.
Okay. I wanted to reach out to you and ask if you had the chance to look at the letter of intent for me.
Okay, stop. Okay. You're speaking from past tense and you're speaking from a place of scarcity, of
Okay.
need. You're speaking from a place of need. When you email, you have to use the power of persuasion, the power of manipulation, for not in a bad way. It's positive manipulation, positive persuasion. So you could rewrite that. You could have rewrote that in the present tense and say, hey, I'm excited for you to send that to me today. I'm looking forward to it. I'll get back to you in about a couple hours. I'm a little busy right now. I have a couple interested clients reaching out to me from different parts. You know, like talk from a place of abundance.
Mm,
Speak like you are interesting and people are interested in you and you have so much going on that they are just a second part. They're not the primary part. You're making them seem like she is the primary focus, and now the power, you given her the power. So she probably, it has that mindset of, yeah, whatever. People, that's what happens. Salsala, when you reply or email to people from this mindset and the way that you're emailing, they are going
mhm,
to treat you the way you treat yourself. They are
mhm.
going to correspond with the way you message them.
Yes.
So you need to reiterate that and change it to an empowering email where you are the dictator, you are the one that makes the rules, you are the creator, you are the owner, you are the millionaire, not them. They're nothing without you. When you start to email people with that energy, that intention that you are everything and all things and everything is deserving and deserving to you, and it's happening, it's coming to you, you have to put that into your writing. The energy needs to be in the writing. But when I hear you read that, I feel and I hear low vibe energy.
Mhm.
And then when you go to saying, well, your writing is amazing, I love your post, that is called, what that is called, That is called you're trying to make them feel good, but it's making you look lower.
Dang. I thought it's maybe something nice to say because she can really write really well. I
Not in that
really
context though. You have to change the context. You have to
Mm.
change the approach. And then when you say, by the way, I I I appreciate, or by the way, good job on your post. Don't give them too much energy, because when you
That makes
started
sense.
off, it was low energy. And then when you ended off, it was low energy.
Okay. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. Sometimes politeness is taken for granted unless it comes behind a lot of power.
That's what I exactly tried to be. I tried to be polite, but an honest polite. So I wanted to say something we could connect on.
In this
Um,
world, you're going to be eaten alive in Hollywood. They're going to take
well,
advantage of you, and you need to know how to come into your power so they look powerless and they need you. They want to fuel on your energy. And right now, they see you as nothing. So they treat you like nothing.
yes,
So you
let's change
have,
that.
yes, you look at yourself like something. You look at yourself with everything, and you set that intention and that notion in your emails.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like this whole green card thing had a little effect on me that I felt like low energy.
Yeah,
So
they've
it
done it. They've
resonated.
sucked your energy. And now through our coaching and through me just kind of guiding you, you need to do all the work and the exercise I've been teaching you. Come into your divineness, your being, your supernatural power, and now live it every day. And then when you send another email, you fucking know what you are. You know you're powerful. You know that you deserve it. You know that you are commanding and demanding your rights. And you send that energy into your email.
Yeah, I do deserve it. I work hard for it.
Yes, but you don't display. You display it like they're in control and you need it. I want it.
Yeah.
Oh, and please, like, oh, and I love your posts. Your posts are awesome. Please, can I have it? You sound
Yeah.
like a, no, it's fine. Listen, it's okay. I'm not, it, you sound like a sweet, innocent bunny rabbit, but you got to be a roaring lion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you want me to read the other email to you? What
sure.
did I write?
Yes. As long as it's
Um,
helping you. Yeah.
yes. Oh no, let me not read those. So this person told me she's gonna send it to me, and she said she might have lost her copy, but she finished it, but she just has to send it to me, but she doesn't know where she saved it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
that was on Saturday. So
Now, what I want you to do, I want you to respond with confidence and say, no worries. I'm so blessed that I am getting four direct. What are they, directors?
yes,
Say no worries. I appreciate that you're trying to find it, and I believe that you will. Just trust in source. But I'm so grateful. I want to give you good news that four people are already sending me, but I would still appreciate yours. So once you find it, send it to me right away. Be
okay,
directing. You got to